Have you been thinking about entering a gravel cycling event? Do you own a gravel bike? Do you know how to ride a bike? If so, this episode is for you. If not, this episode is also for you. Hi, I'm Rich, and welcome to the Back of the Gravel Pack channel. If you're interested in gravel cycling and bike packing content that focuses on slower, longer, and in my opinion, more inspiring performances, then this is the channel for you. So do yourself a favor and hit the subscribe button below. In today's episode, I'm going to tell you my top 5 reasons you should consider signing up for a small, local gravel cycling event. Unless you've been living under a rock or a cave for the last 5 or so years, you're probably familiar with the popularity of gravel cycling events. At their best, gravel events are a great mix of competition, personal challenge, and community. But at their worst, gravel cycling events can be expensive, overcrowded, and overly dramatic ways to pay to ride roads you may normally ride anyway. So in my opinion, one way to increase the odds of having a positive, enjoyable experience at your next or first gravel cycling event is to consider focusing on a smaller cycling event. So here we go. Let me tell you why. My top 5 reasons you should consider signing up for a small gravel cycling event. Number 1, better routes. Generally, the more people you have to put on a gravel road, the larger and more reliable the condition of that road has to be. Increasing the amount of minimum maintenance B roads, unmaintained roads, stream crossings, single track, all the types of things that can be difficult to funnel tons of people through, but can increase the enjoyment of the overall experience, is one benefit to signing up for a smaller gravel cycling event. That takes us to reason number 2, less people. One of the main complaints I hear from folks on some of the larger gravel cycling events is just the huge mass of people that makes it difficult to ride the pace that you want to through gravel roads early on in the race. Generally, for the first quarter, maybe even a half of a race, what you're going to see is it's relatively difficult to increase or decrease your pace and move up or move back in the pack. Part of the experience of a gravel cycling event is to get out to enjoy the environment, enjoy the roads with some other folks around. However, when you're a large pack of cyclists that stretches along for miles and it's difficult to move up or move back in that pack, it can add to the stress of the experience. It can also make it difficult for you to ride the pace that you prefer to ride. By signing up for a smaller event, obviously it's going to mean there's less people there and less likelihood of those bicycle traffic jams that you're going to see at the larger events. Reason number 3. The cost of a gravel cycling event. Almost without exception, smaller local gravel cycling events are going to be significantly cheaper to enter than larger events. The benefits that you see from those entry fees are relatively similar. What is provided pre and post race, the swag, the pit stops, the volunteer support, all those types of things are generally equivalent, if not a bit of an advantage to the smaller events. So the question is, where do the additional funds that are being charged in entry fees go? And that takes me to reason number 4, and that's following the money. In the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen a dramatic increase in the entry fees charged by larger cycling events. Where do the additional funds not being utilized for the operation of the race end up? When you're not trying to produce a profit on the cycling event, you can utilize those funds for things like charities and fundraisers in the community. Generally, entry fees of smaller gravel cycling events that are above the operational expenses of that event are going to go to local charities and fundraisers and be incorporated back into the community. Finally, my last reason, number 5, to enter a small gravel cycling event is the bike community that you're going to see at those events. Although it seems counterintuitive, in my experience, you have better conversation, you meet more folks at smaller cycling events when you have a smaller field. What you see sometimes in larger events is there are lots and lots and lots of people. So your interaction with other folks is actually less than what it would be when there's a small field and everyone's trying to fight through the obstacles in the day together. The community aspect that folks appreciate most in gravel cycling, in my experience, is most evident in smaller events. When you focus less on the pointy end, the front end of the event, typically the gravel community component of it flourishes. Less focus on the front, more focus on the experience. So that's it. Those are my top 5 reasons I think you should consider signing up for a smaller gravel cycling event. I'd be interested to know what you think. What did I miss? Which of those 5 don't you necessarily agree with? And what is your experience in riding smaller versus larger gravel cycling events? Comment below with my top 5 and what you think I left off the list or should have. If you made it this far in the video, I'd also encourage you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'm Rich, and this has been another episode of the Back of the Gravel Pack. Thanks for joining me.